Shalom, shalom. I'd like to start off first and foremost with giving all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Chachodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, who will teach well. Peace, love, salutations, and many blessings to those working this truth and sincerity. It's your brother Nathaniel from the GMS Camp Atlanta, coming back into the spirit with another lesson. And I pray this lesson is edifying. Now, I'm getting into a video that I saw. Now, I used to watch this years ago, right before I came into the truth, and a lot of things that I used to keep track of, like CERN, quantum mechanics, they kind of took a back seat, but now all of these things are resurfacing, and it just allows the opportunity to, to focus this through a different lens, through the lens of the scriptures. Okay, now what this devil is actually doing is he's trying to create time machines, and he possibly have already, because there's been things that's been happening in the world that are unexplained. It could be chariots, it could be Esau. We don't know, but we will know in the kingdom. But this devil is actively trying to get out of his judgment. Okay, now the elder Yashawamba, right? About a year or so ago, he did a video where they opened a portal, and they heard a voice come out of that portal, and it said "tekel," which basically means your kingdom is finished. Okay, it's a Hebrew word for done, finished. Okay, and this devil will run billions of scenarios, right? Changing this, changing that, changing this, changing that, and he had a AI that would change things in the past to see if they can get the ultimate outcome. And so far, they've done virtually unlimited amount of scenarios, and they come to the same conclusion. They're destroyed and they're wiped out. Okay. So I'm gonna start off with a quick precept, and then we're gonna play the video. This is Job 14 and 5. It says, "Seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee." Who is the one? Who is the one who has numbered his months that are with the Lord? The number of his months are with the Lord. The Lord know exactly when this man's time is up. And it says, thou has appointed his bounds which he cannot pass. So that's a finite thing. You cannot pass a certain point, E. You cannot go past a certain point, because that's the line the Lord said, no, you cannot. Time itself was created by the Lord for us to exist in. The days, the months, the years, the weeks. The Lord created that stuff. So don't you think he'd be the master of time? Don't you think he would know, because he made you, he would know that your dumb ass will actually try to change things? So you cannot, no matter where you go, you cannot change what's going to happen. You cannot change your judgment. Okay? You can change little shit, but you can't change your judgment. All right, so I'm going to play this video.
Explain. He's on the board of SpaceX, Tesla, Synthetic Genomics, which is Craig Venter's company, is trying to build artificial life, and D-Wave, and that's it. And this is his particularly poetic way of framing the difference between the machines we build and conventional computers. This is what they look like. There are two of them. These are from our lab in Burnaby in British Columbia. From the outside, they look like giant black monoliths, big metal boxes, about 10 feet on a side, 12 feet tall. And they are powered, they have a fridge inside them, a refrigerator that cools these chips to almost absolute zero. Just a wisp, a fraction of a degree above absolute zero. Hundreds of times colder than interstellar space. Amongst the coldest and most isolated and extreme conditions that humans have ever been able to engineer. These fridges, interestingly enough, which are called pulse tube dilution refrigerators, have a thing called a pulse tube, which emits a sound roughly once per second, which sounds eerily like a heartbeat. So if you have the opportunity to stand next to one of these machines, it is an awe-inspiring thing, at least for me. It feels like an altar to an alien god. They really are impressive machines.
Now, that's the first thing you hear that. So this is another form of idol worship, these fucking machines. But we're going to let him continue.
At the heart of this big box is a tiny chip about the size of your thumbnail. And on this chip resides all of the wonder and magic that makes this thing go. I'm not going to describe in any mathematical detail how it all works, but let me give you an analogy. In quantum mechanics, there's this concept that a thing can exist in two states which are mutually exclusive at the same time, quote unquote. And I'm using those words because the English language was developed before we had concepts to describe what these things actually are doing. But I'm going to give you a roundabout way of understanding this. Imagine that there really are parallel universes out there. And now imagine you have two that are exactly identical in every respect, all the way out to the horizon as far as we can see, down to the last little atomic detail of every single thing, with only one difference. And that's the value of a little thing called a qubit on this chip. It's a contraction of quantum bit. And that qubit is very much like a bit or a transistor in a conventional computer. It has two distinct physical states, which we call 0 and 1 for bit. In a conventional computer, these are mutually exclusive. That device is either one or the other, never anything else. In a quantum computer, that device can be in this strange situation where these two parallel universes have a nexus, a point in space where they overlap. And when you increase the number of these devices, every time you add one of these qubits, you double the number of these parallel universes that you have access to. Until such time when you get to a chip like this, which is about 500 of these bits, you have something like 2 to the 500th power of these guys living in that chip. So the way I think about it is that the shadows of these parallel worlds overlap with ours. And if we're smart enough, we can dive into them and grab their resources and pull them back into ours to make an effect in our world. Now, this may sound very odd to you and bizarre, and in fact, I am using language that a normal theoretical physicist probably wouldn't use, but this is, what I'm telling you is absolutely correct and in line with the way that these things actually work. We've been doing this for some time now, and in fact, we have our own version of Moore's Law. The doubling of the number of these qubits on the chip has happened once a year for the past 9 years. So for the last 9 years, every year, the number of these qubit devices has doubled, and it will continue to do so. As a point of reference, in terms of how fast these things are, in one generation of chip, the one from the system that was installed at USC to the one that Google and NASA have now, the speed of the device went up by almost 500,000. This is the kind of problem.
All right, so y'all can get an idea what this devil is trying to do. He's literally trying to go back in time and change things. Now, why would he do that? Now, this earth has all of the resources that one could possibly need. You know, in my opinion, he's going back to try to get back his birthright. You can't. You're going to fail at everything. You know, you're going to fail. Now, I have no doubt in my mind that this devil is actually doing this because they're doing that shit with CERN. You know, and they're trying with the Hadron Collider. And this right here, this D-Wave technology that he's talking about, this quantum mechanics, this quantum computing is actually connected to CERN. They work in tangent together. All right. So let's read that again. It says, seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. Thou hast set the bounds which he cannot pass. So you only can go so far. Okay. As much as you try, you only can go so far. All right. So this is Psalms 37. I'm going to start at verse 12. And it says, the wicked plotteth against the just, and gnasheth upon him with his teeth. The Lord shall laugh at him, for he seeth that his day is coming. You see, so this is what this all is. This shit is all about. It's maintaining rulership, maintaining the wicked rulership that you have. That's what this is all about. Making sure that you keep the Israelites under your foot. You want the birthright back, which was never yours to begin with. And you're trying to take it from someone who created everything, who created your ass. You're not taking the birthright from Jake because it wasn't Jake to be given or taken away in the first place. It was the Lord's to give and the Lord's to take away, okay? And the Lord would do whatever he damn well pleased, and that's just how it is, all right? So verse 13 again, it says, the Lord shall laugh at him, for he seeth that his days is coming. So the Lord is going to laugh at you, devils. He's laughing at you like, you see this devil right here? He really trying to change things, right? I'm gonna let him do what he do. You know, that's how weak and insignificant you are, to where the Lord has let you do it. just so he can show how weak and insignificant you are. It says, the wicked have drawn out the sword, they have bent the bow to cast down the poor and the needy, and to slay such as be of upright conversation. You know, I was in an Uber last night. I drive an Uber at night, and there was a bunch of Edomites that got in my car, and their whole car, they were Edomite guys. They had just came from like a frat house or something like that, and their whole conversation was homosexual. All they kept talking about, and then they look at me, we're really not gay. Wait a minute, why are y'all talking about this? Why are y'all talking about, getting popped by a dude all night, blowing rod? And these were all Edomites, which kind of showed me that. And it's funny because on the one hand, I had some Edomite guys, and on the other hand, I had some Edomite women, all Edomites, okay? And the Edomites were just dressed up like in that whorish, feminist energy, and the Edomite guys were in that homosexual energy, which just goes to show you that they don't have upright conversation, and they are wicked. They're inherently wicked. They think the things that are truly a taboo are things to be played with as entertainment. Okay? It says, their sword shall enter into their own heart, and their bows shall be broken. You see that? So you think that you're going to get away with it. You're not getting away with nothing. The Lord said He's going to laugh at you. Okay? The Lord is going to laugh at you. The Lord is going to have you in derision. All right? This is Ezekiel 28, and I'm going to start at verse 1. Ezekiel 28, start at verse 1. It says, the word of the Lord came to me again, saying, Son of man, say unto the prince of Tyre, thus saith the Lord, because thine heart is lifted up, and thou hast said, I am God, and and sit in the seat of God, in the midst of the seas. Yet thou art man, and not God. And though thou set thine heart as the heart of God, behold, thou art wiser than Daniel. There is no secret that they can hide from thee. With thy wisdom and with thy understanding thou hast gotten thee riches, and has gotten gold and silver into thy treasury. You see that? So the wisdom of wickedness has allowed these people to maintain their power seat. And the Lord has said that they were wiser than Daniel. But Teman is losing his wisdom right now from all the things that they're doing. Now, I wanted to look into that word seas, because the word seas is really talking about people or nations. Because the Lord, sometimes when you see seas and trees in the scripture, is actually talking about people. Okay, so in this definition is talking about trees. I mean, the actual sea, but it could be talking about people. I believe it's talking about the nations that were round about when it was talking about seas. But verse 6, it says, therefore thus saith the Lord, because thou hast set thine heart as the heart of God, behold, therefore I will bring strangers upon thee, the terror of nations, and they shall draw their swords against the beauty of thy wisdom, and they shall defile thy brightness. And that's what's going to happen to Babylon. That's what's going to happen to America. The other nations are about to ransack this place, okay? But guess what? They're not going to even want nothing from here. They're just going to want to destroy this whore, That's all they want to do is destroy this whore. All right, this is Daniel 7:25. And it reads, and he shall speak great words against the Most High, and he shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws. Now, of course, when we read this, we can go into the clock, the 24-hour clock, the 365-day Gregorian calendar, But if this devil is actually trying to, engage in time travel, then he will literally go back and change time. itself. That's why I brought that out, because this is what this devil is fucking attempting to do. All right, he's attempting to go back in time. And it says, and they will be given into him, and they will be given into his hand until a time and dividing of time. Okay, now that's really going into a 350-year period. But you know, I brought that out, you know, just to give an example of how this devil, you know, he will attempt to change anything and undo anything that Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai had made, including time itself. He will want to change that. Okay? And it says, but the judgment shall sit, and they shall take away his dominion to consume and destroy until the end. You see, so, you know, your dominion is going to get taken away, and you're going to be destroyed. You will fail. Your D-Wave technology, you will fail. Your AI will fail. Your quantum computing will fail. And ultimately, you will fail. And you're going to go into slavery. Okay? So, you know, just a little quick lesson that I wanted to put out there by, you know, and I just want to end it off by giving all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, by Shem Rakal Kodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone. Until the next time, I can say shalom.